A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been selected to give the keynote speech today because, I don't know, they keep asking me to do it. I'm sure they can find a few other people who could do it even better than I can. But it's always a privilege for me to stand here and share with you a little bit of my experience and my insight. I've been working in Pakistan now and served this glorious nation for 50 years. This is my 50th year. So I've had the privilege of seeing the development of the country from Ayub Khan days to the present. And that's quite a journey. And I think His Excellency the Governor made a very important point. Why is it that when we were at the top, when the world looked at us, when the World Bank declared us as the best developing country in the world in 1964, what went wrong? How is it that we lost our way? The population that has grown since then, just to give you an idea, the population growth today is that we need a school for 570 children every hour, 24 hours a day. Can you imagine the responsibilities that descend upon us, all of us, individually and collectively? That's a huge population. That population can either be something which is in our benefit or become our biggest liability. And the difference lies, in my opinion, in education. But education is of two types. There's education of yourself, the inner side of you. And there's education of what I call the capabilities. A lot of the MBAs, students, what you have learned is you've been given this side of the capabilities. But you've got to realize that both have to be nurtured, both have to be developed. And it has to be a lifelong commitment. And as you go down life's highway, as you get more experience, you will find that you will need advice, guidance, exposure to both sides of yourself, your inner side and your external side. Now, I'll give you my reasoning why I think that the country is where we are. We are where we are because one side of us was not only not nurtured, but was actually eliminated. And that side, it's what I call the side of character. As a nation, we have become characterless. And as a consequence, we always prioritize the worldly side rather than realizing that it is ourselves as human beings that also need to develop inside. And what I found that since the momentous occasions that took place in 1971-72, when the whole social paradigm of the nation was changed, and we have had the experience of this change for the last almost 45 plus years. And look where it's got us to. America's going through the same thing. They've got a marvelous president there, Mr. Trump. What do you think he's doing? He's destroying that very nation. Why? Because he himself doesn't have any character. They've computed, they've watched this, they say the fellow has lied 5,000 times in 2 years. You don't build character if you tell lies. You have to realize that if you want a successful life, there's success in the world, but there's also success within yourself. And if you don't concentrate on yourself, then how will you really be successful in the world? So you have to start with yourself. You've now, by the grace of God, acquired sufficient capability in earning your MBA. But now you need to acquire the great degree of the University of Life. And that is where you start with yourself. So what have we done here? We've realized that both of those are the integral part of every human being. So we have conceived of an idea that over here we would have two schools. One would be the school for developing character. One would be a school to developing capabilities, because we need both. His Excellency the Governor mentioned that with the new government, people are taking interest in Pakistan. And I'll tell you why. Because I travel a lot, I try to get feedback from different societies, different people. I've recently come back from Far East, occasion to shake hands with Dr. Mahathir Mohamad also. There is a lot of interest in Pakistan today. And why? Because they feel a government has come into place whom they can trust. They feel that this is a clean government. It's a government that they can work with. Yes, we can make mistakes, but the most important factor is trust. And therefore, there's a lot of positiveness and a lot of people outside in many countries who want to come to Pakistan. That was absent for a very long time. My opinion is absent since 1992. But now, they're coming. But if we fail them, if we don't show our character, if we don't show that we are reliable, if we don't show that we are truthful, if we do not show that we are trustable, this hype will not last. Today, Naya Pakistan represents that hype. It represents that feeling that yes, now the country will go forward. But to do that, we've got to have character. So we've decided in the school that we're going to have a school for developing character. And we're going to call that the Anglo Leadership Academy. And we're setting this up in collaboration with McKinsey. The other school will be the School of Capabilities, which is really executive education. And we're going to aim to try to help all sectors of society who are already in positions of decision-making to try to understand what the importance of trust is in society. You cannot have relationships without the fundamental foundation of trust. And you cannot have the fundamental foundation of trust if you lie. This country's outstanding characteristic to date has been a country where we tell a lot of lies. And that's what's hurting us. Now we can either sit back and wait for the government to turn around and set the example, or we ourselves can take the leadership in our own humble way and start to insist that we are going to set the example for being people of character, people who don't tell lies, people who only speak the truth. And this is the essence of this institution. We are going to promote, we are going to hopefully give you third-party affirmation that living a life based on righteousness, a life based on truth, realizing that you are talking about a commitment to lifelong learning of 50 years or more, as I have, you will realize when you get to that age how lucky you were that you adopted this path. Because at the end of the day, when we all face the ultimate, when we have to go to our Maker, we have to go 6 feet below, we're not going to take anything with us except our character and our relationships with others, and the quality of those relationships which are based on trust. So all of you young people who are graduating today, who are looking to change the world, it's what Rumi said. He said, when I was young, I too was clever. I wanted to change the world. He said, now I am wise. I want to change myself. Thank you very much, dear ladies and gentlemen.